Hi, everyone. Before we start today, I want to acknowledge with respect the Indigenous peoples and communities whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day and on whose traditional territories all of our work takes place. My name is Autumn Sipis. I am the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator with the Canadian Coalition for Green Healthcare. And on behalf of the Coalition, I am very excited to welcome you to the 2022 Green Hospital Scorecard Introductory Webinar. Throughout the webinar, please use the chat function for any technical issues you may be experiencing and use the Q&A function for any questions you have regarding the Green Hospital Scorecard. I'll try my best to keep an eye on both, and we'll answer all questions in the middle and probably at the end of the webinar today as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So on the agenda for today, I'm going to do an introduction for the Green Hospital Scorecard. I'm going to go through the Green Hospital Scorecard timeline for this year. I'm going to give you guys an overview of what's new with the scorecard and the survey, including our Health Canada partnership and some revisions and new questions that are on the survey. I will then do a walkthrough of the survey itself. So the Green Hospital Scorecard. This is the only comprehensive healthcare environmental performance benchmarking tool in Canada, which measures energy conservation, water conservation, waste management, recycling, corporate commitment, and pollution prevention. The Ontario Hospital Association originally developed the GHS and then asked the Coalition to take it over in 2016. Participating hospitals will receive an individualized scorecard, which you can see on the right side, an example, which benchmarks your progress in energy, water, waste, pollution prevention, and leadership. Participating in the survey and scorecard gives you the ability to qualify for our annual Green Healthcare Awards, which includes awards for energy conservation, energy behavior, water conservation, all that, as well as a Green Hospital of the Year award, which is our most prestigious. Your facility also will be recognized as a bronze, silver, or gold leader in healthcare. Your designation is identified by the badge you can see up in the right corner of the scorecard here, as well as the scale, which shows you where you are on the scale of other hospitals. So as for scoring, and in terms of which section/questions of the survey contribute to your final score, we have energy, which contributes a large amount of 40% of your score. The only questions in this section which do not contribute to your final score are those related to distributed energy, renewable energy, and energy behavior. I'll be going through that a little bit more later, but energy as a whole, 40%. And then the water section contributes to 15% of your score, waste contributes to 15%, pollution prevention is 10%, and leadership contributes to 20%. The sections which you are not scored on are those questions under transportation, food, climate change, and anesthetic gases. Those are the last 4 sections of the survey. And while they don't contribute to your score, they are really important for us in our reporting and also to help inform the sectors on different conservation and management activities. So data confidentiality, obviously this is a big concern, but the Coalition has managed the scorecard since 2016 with no issues. The Coalition respects all data confidentiality. The survey itself, the data is stored on a secure platform, and the data is de-identified for any reporting we do. So anytime we release any information in terms of data from the scorecard, it's all de-identified. There's no individual hospitals' information shared with others. So our timeline for this, so the data call is going to be very, very soon, March 2023. The deadline to submit your survey is going to be in May. We hope to disseminate the scorecards in August, and then we will have our awards presentations hopefully in September. And you can keep up to date on all that. We'll be sending all reminders out and announcements in our Green Digest and through direct email campaigns, which if you are not on my email list, please email me and my email will come up a little bit later. So what's new on the scorecard? Our first announcement is our partnership with Health Canada. The coalition is very, very excited about this partnership. It's been a long time coming. Health Canada's commitment to climate resilience and mitigation makes them a perfect partner to help us deliver our survey, and they really fit with the growing need for climate action in healthcare facilities, which is something that we are striving to have more focus on in all of our work, as well as within the scorecard itself. So revisions and new questions. So we have definitely added some more questions in our climate change section with climate resilience. And we just want a bigger focus on tracking climate change related impacts. And we did quite a few just small revisions to different sections just to improve the survey as a whole and kind of address some concerns we had in previous years with comments and different things. And just going to see if Linda, my senior advisor on climate change, wanted to add anything on this because she is the leader.
Thanks, Autumn. I don't actually have anything right now, but if anybody has any questions on the revisions as you see them, please make sure you get in touch with us. So the important part, though, is the additions that we've provided on climate change questions. So yeah, happy to answer any questions as they come up.
Thanks, Linda. All right, so the survey is going to be released ASAP. We are just finishing making last few touches. Please email me to join our email list if you are not already on it. I will be sending out the data call announcement very soon through a direct email campaign. It will also be announced again in our digest next week. So yeah, so just email me if you're not already on my list. So a couple important reminders when taking the survey. So for multi-site hospitals, you should be creating a new survey for each site you have. So you should have one survey for each site. A little more clarification on how this will work is everybody's going to get a generic survey link, which they will access. And the first page asks you all of your general information about your site, your contact information, all that. At the end of the page, there is a save button. And when you save, a personalized link is generated for you. This link is best if you email it to yourself and save it, and that will be what you use going forward to complete the survey. Just so you know, all of these instructions are present on the survey itself, and I will be doing another rundown. And again, I will be sending out this webinar recording and the slides if there's any confusion. You're obviously also welcome to reach out to me if you have any concerns as you start the survey. Another important reminder, please, please, please double check when you are inputting your data that you are also adding the correct unit of measurement. This was a huge issue we found last year that really affected a lot of our final data reporting and different things. So when you're doing your survey and you're inputting your data, there is like a drop down bar to enter your unit. Just make sure you're clicking that right one. It's really important. The last important reminder is when you're entering your contact information, make sure you enter a work number or extension where you can be directly contacted. It's very unlikely I'll have to contact you, but for any reason there is an issue with your survey, it's important that I have that information. Okay, so does anyone have any questions at this time? I'll check the chat. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything right now, so I'm going to continue on. We are now at the point of the survey walkthrough. So if you are a seasoned Green Hospital Scorecard participant, you are welcome to drop off the call because I'm really just going to be giving a general overview of the survey and going through the questions and survey sections for our new participants. But if you would like to stay and just see what's maybe new and stay for the walkthrough, you're welcome to. So these are the different sections of the survey and the ones that we'll be going through: energy, water, waste, pollution prevention, corporate leadership. And so all those ones, as you might remember, are the ones we're scored on. And then the last couple: transportation, food, climate change, and anesthetic gases. Okay, so for general information, it's pretty basic: hospital site name. You want to add your buildings, so each building that you have, and include the conditioned floor area, which is a numeric value of the floor size of air conditioned, heating and cooled areas, including all medical buildings. This is very important because it informs a lot of our other data and measurements. Make sure you include your building type. You want to select medical, administrative, mixed, research, or other, including your total bed count, your total outpatient visits, and total inpatient days. So you also, for our peer group distinction is really important so that you can compare yourself against not only all the hospitals as a whole, but also your peers. So whether you're an academic hospital, community hospital, non-acute, or small. I'm not going to go through all the definitions, but these are also present on the survey as a reminder. And again, I'll be sending out these slides later. So energy. So here you can see I've kind of outlined which parts of the scorecard show the different energy information. So in the top here, you'll be able to see your total energy and total GHG emissions. You'll be able to see your energy use and your energy use intensity, which is your total energy over your total area. And so you can also see, you can compare yourself against previous years' energy use and all that good stuff. So our energy section collects information on the hospital site's energy sources and use in 2021. We have a couple different fuel types: district heat, district cooling, exported energy. So what not to report? We do not need to know your vehicle fuel use, your diesel use for backup power generation, and energy use of buildings that are not represented by the conditioned floor area reported in the survey. And then there's also some important questions in this section that do not contribute to your final score. So they do not influence these areas on your scorecard. So that will be the distributed energy questions, the renewable energy questions, and the energy behavior questions. But keep in mind, there is an energy behavior award every year, so it is important questions. All right, on to water. So here you can see we have on the scorecard the part for your water use, where you can compare over your previous year's water usage, and your water use intensity, which is your total water meter squared over total area square meter. There's not much more to talk about with water because you're really just inputting your total water use for 2021 in this section. So on to waste. On your scorecard, you'll see we have quite a bit of stuff in terms of waste. You have just your waste generation as a whole, your waste intensity, your waste distribution. So this breaks down your general non-hazardous waste, your biomedical waste, your blue bin, your green bins, your cardboard, all that good stuff. We also look at your recycling rate. So how much you are recycling compared to yourself, to your peers, and yeah. So yeah, this section of the survey collects information on how conventional non-hazardous waste, biomedical waste, and recyclable materials are managed through disposable, recycling, green bin, reuse, or an internal alternative form of diversion like on-site composting. So what not to report? Your data should represent the weight of the waste as disposed, not the waste composition. And then recyclable materials that were present in the general waste stream should be accounted under general non-hazardous waste. Waste generated from buildings not reported in the general information section should not also be reported as well. Okay, so here's just some general definitions for you guys. So General non-hazardous waste includes landfill-filled waste and recyclable materials that were present in the general waste stream. Those should all be accounted for in this section. And then for biomedical waste, the scorecard defines biomedical waste according to the guideline C4, the management of biomedical waste in Ontario. This is actually a link. So when I set out the slides, you'll be able to check that out. But it's basic, it really outlines everything that is included in biomedical waste, and then as well as the things that are not included. So check that out before you start that section. Here's just a little outline of how you can obtain your tonnage information for a recycled item. There's a lot of different routes you can take. So reports from waste hauler/waste service providers, waste audits, estimate weight with your waste hauler/waste service supervisor. You want to look at the size and average weight of the carts and bins. As for cardboard, there's also a couple different ways you can look at it. Okay, so for diversion, where applicable on the survey, please indicate which material streams your hospital site diverted in 2021 from the general waste stream. So if the material was diverted and quantity was captured, please select quantity captured and enter the quantity. If the material is diverted and quantity is not captured, please select quantity not captured. If the option to divert a particular waste stream is not available, just check option to divert is not available. If your site diverts a material stream not listed in the survey, there is a section where you can actually add other material streams. So you can add quite a few, as many as you'd like. So whatever ones aren't listed, you can just click a little button that says add material stream and go through it, just so you are able to put as much information as possible. Okay, so in the waste section, we also have a couple questions on food waste, which on the scorecard is indicated by green bin. So these questions do count towards your final waste score. And you're basically just identifying the food management option currently used by your facility for each site of origin. So sites of origin include hospital food prep areas, patient care areas, the hospital cafeteria, and a few other areas. We also have a couple questions on the circular economy. These questions do not count towards your final score, but for a little rundown, the circular economy involves the principles of designing out waste and pollution while keeping products and materials in use and regenerating natural systems. So in this section, we basically just want to know whether your facility has environmentally sustainability promotion policies and ones that specifically consider reuse. We want to know whether your facility participates in a variety of optimization or reduction initiatives, whether your facility is participating in any reuse initiatives, and whether your facility collects medical products for recycling and what those products are. Okay, on to pollution prevention. So this you can see is just down here in the corner along with leadership. We're basically measuring actions, your actions you take to reduce impacts on the environment, and it's the management of harmful materials and operation practices. So the questions here ask about policies for active, sorry, one second. So the section here, we ask about policies, targets, and action plans. So a policy is a statement of intention on environmental objectives and targets, providing a framework for action. Targets are performance requirement formed through environmental policies set and met to achieve the policy objectives. And an action plan designates responsibilities for achieving targets, timeline and means in which the target are achieved. This may include training, processes, procedures and controls, measurement systems, auditing protocols, review and revision of existing documents. So there's a couple different ways that can be gone about. So there's a couple target examples here and action plan examples for your reference. So target examples, so environmentally preferable purchasing. So an example is reducing packaging waste by 20% by 2021 and increasing reusable products by 15% by 2022. So clear targets, clear goals that you are striving towards are very, very important and are basically what we want to know in this section. And for the action plan, it can say we want to reduce packaging waste by 20% by 2021. And then this should also include some steps. So your steps in your action plan could include establishing packaging waste baseline by this date, or selecting and prioritizing feasible products and suppliers by this date. All right, so on to corporate leadership planning and management. So here, corporate leadership is basically measured by corporate commitment to green initiatives, which include a corporately recognized environmental mandate or commitment, an executive sponsor accountable for overall hospital environmental strategy, a dedicated FTE, or a green team. We also want to know whether your organization offers staff engagement and outreach programming in energy conservation, water conservation, waste management, and green events such as Earth Day. And we also want to know if there's a budget for staff engagement and outreach programming in the aforementioned areas. We are also asking whether your organization's corporate commitment to environmental performance include policy. So a policy being a statement by an organization of its intention, this basically provides a framework for action. We are looking for policies on energy conservation, water conservation, and waste management. In this section, there's actually a policy upload feature. So we don't want you to just say, oh, we have this policy. It's really great if you upload what you have or include a link to your policy. This is mostly just important for our awards time when it comes to that, and we're giving out awards for leadership. You need to have a policy uploaded in order to qualify for the awards. We also ask whether your organization has defined targets in energy conservation, water conservation, and waste management. And we talked about targets before, but a detailed performance requirement in order to achieve a policy. Okay, so now we're on to the next 4 sections, which do not contribute to your final score. So transportation, food, climate change, and anesthetic gases. In the transportation section, we are looking at active transportation and clean transportation. The questions here ask about policies for active and clean transportation, programs to promote these alternatives, and the infrastructure available on site for these, such as charging stations for electric vehicles and electric bikes, storage for bikes, and other things like that. We are measuring transportation to basically understand the behaviors, programs, and initiatives of Canadian healthcare facilities promoting alternative and active forms of transportation, as well as to gain knowledge on the initiatives and trends in transportation programming of healthcare facilities. So food. For the food section, we ask whether your facility has a health food policy, if you purchase local food, if your facility has local or sustainable purchasing criteria, which sustainable foods initiatives your facility has, and more. So why are we measuring this? We basically want to better understand the efforts, policies, and practices of Canadian healthcare facilities on supporting a more sustainable food system, as well as to gain knowledge on the gaps in the work and what resources and programs can help support facilities in creating and contributing to more sustainable food systems. So next we have climate change. So healthcare facilities in Canada are already being impacted by climate-related events. We know this. We've seen it. It's happened, and it's happened to a lot of you as well. So this includes things like floods, forest fires, extreme heat, extreme weather, all that. And the results of these events as well. So damaged infrastructure, increased patient admissions, delay in services, delay in products or things that you've procured. So why do we want to measure this? We really want to understand how Canadian healthcare facilities are impacted by climate-related events. And we want to help Canadian healthcare facilities prepare more for frequent and intense climate-related events, because this is just the beginning at this point. So our questions really focus around these two main topics, so resilience and impact. So our questions on resilience include whether your organization has participated in climate change vulnerability and adaptation assessments, whether your organization has assessed how climate change may impact your facility, if and how climate change has been recognized by your organization, and if your organization has access to and uses established climate-informed early warning systems. And if you haven't done these things, that's okay. But it's important to know that these options are out there and that it is something that is becoming more and more important to implement in your facility. And then our questions on climate impacts and look at which climate change related events have impacted your facility. And we ask you to describe how your facility was specifically affected by those extreme weather events. Right, so our last section of the survey is on anesthetic gases. What is it? So anesthetic gases are used for surgeries under general anesthesia, are really potent greenhouse gases, which hospitals are regularly discharged unabated into the atmosphere. So this has a lot of concerns, and it is becoming a growing topic of concern that people are becoming more and more aware about. So again, this is not a mandatory section, and you can bypass it if your site does not have anesthetic gases. And we really just want to know here what alternatives your facility might be using, or what you are doing to reduce the amount of anesthetic gases that your facility is releasing into the atmosphere. And because this obviously impacts your environmental footprint and all that. So completing the survey. So at the end of the survey, we have the terms of use agreement. We have 5 short feedback questions as well. So this is the section where we would really like to hear from you about what you thought of the length of the survey, any concerns you have, and your overall experience as well, which is really important for us moving forward to make any improvements. We also have a little section at the end in regards to membership. So your participation in the scorecard does not imply membership with the coalition. There's no fee associated with this survey and the scorecard itself, but we do encourage you to sign up to become a member, because your support really helps the coalition operate and be able to deliver this every year. So like I said, I'll be sending out the presentation slides, so you'll be able to follow the link on the slides. If you are more interested, you can also, again, reach out to me if you would like to become a member. We also encourage you to sign up for our Green Digest and our email list for any all important news, announcements, and all that exciting stuff, and events, webinars, resources we are sending out into the world on our website. All right, and when you finally complete your survey, click submit at the very bottom. Once you have submitted your survey, you will not be able to change your answers. But if you have made a mistake or you've had some other issue or some change, you can always contact me and I can reactivate your survey for you so that you can go back, change your answer, and then resubmit. So you just have to reach out to me. So finally, I just wanted to quickly discuss our new environmental stewardship guides that have been created in partnership with Peach Health Ontario. So if you want to learn more about being a leader for environmental stewardship within your facility, please check these out. They are really, really great resources. We have one for hospitals and we have one for long-term care. And they basically just outline some of the things you can do. And we worked with a lot of experts to help create these guidebooks. We're looking for people to utilize them however they see fit and potentially give us some feedback if you'd like as well. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys. I am happy to answer any questions you have right now. I see there's one in the Q&A. So when are you hoping to do the data call for 2022 data? So we do not have a set date yet, Mike. We are hoping to do it at the end of this year, but it really depends on our partnership with Health Canada and other things that we have going on as well. But we obviously want to just try to focus on this year's scorecard first, and then get to that one as soon as we can, and as soon as we are able to.
Can I just add a few words?
Of course, please do, Linda.
Thank you. So this has been a question that has what will the Green Hospital Scorecard look like going forward? So that's kind of a question that we'd like everybody's help in trying to answer. And so we'll be issuing a call for your guidance on that. And so what the 2020 data call will look like. Will it look like this, or will it look different? We need to hear from folks like you who have been working on this. So we'll keep you posted on when we get to that stage, but that's definitely something we're interested in hearing from.
Thanks, Linda. All right, so Ileana, for your question, is there anything we need to know or plan ahead regarding the awards? So prior to the awards, I'll be contacting all of the winners so they can plan to invite whoever they'd like. And the award ceremony announcement will be released to the public. So anybody who wants to join in and see who our award winners are and get a rundown of this year's scorecard data and the reporting can join the webinar. And we'll be giving you guys obviously a rundown beforehand of what the award ceremony will look like. So I hope that answers your question. Linda, do you want to help me answer Patrick's question?
Sure, Pat. In why distributed energy, renewable energy, and energy behavior don't contribute to the final score. Might these aspects factor into final scores in the future? So Patrick, right on. This is something that we do hope will be integrated in the future. So just as a bit of a backgrounder, the Green Hospital Scorecard was actually developed by the Ontario Hospital Association using a of healthcare advisors. I was on that team as well, but that was in 2013. So that's 10 years ago. So we have a really good scorecard. Some questions related to energy, waste, water, pollution prevention, and leadership, but it has not evolved to what we know today. And so that's why we started to add some additional questions, getting ready for the day that we could hopefully integrate all these into a final scoring program. So it was a complex thing that the Hospital Association did, and we just don't have the resources to continue to change that scoring program at this point. But we want to get ready for the date that we might be able to do that. So again, really interested in hearing any feedback on what a future scorecard could look like.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. All right. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to close things out. If you guys do have questions that come up later on, you're welcome to email me at autumn@greenhealthcare.ca, and keep your eyes out for the survey release and data call. I look forward to sending it out to all of you. And thank you for joining me today.